Ascension, and what was the back end?
There's already a back end.
Sorry, Ascension using our website. Okay, so you're going to start the timer? Great. Opuss. So we're already an app. We've got an iOS app. We've been running for about 6 months, give or take. We've had some luck in the market. We're quite proud of that. We've had a bit of traction. But we wanted to take that iOS app and see if we could actually build a concept within HTML5. The main reason for that, we are talking to a number of players, not to mention our customers that are coming back and saying, we want this on Android, we want this in Facebook, we want this in other areas. And unfortunately, given our resources, which is oatmeal, fumes, and love, you have to kind of be a bit creative in what you do. So let me just tell you a little bit about what Opuss is and where we're going. It's about words. You've already heard of Instagram. Instagram is about photos. Vidi is Instagram for video. And the press actually calls us Instagram for words, which is quite a compliment. It's about how words were created, how they're shared, how they're polished, and how they're distributed. We have a lot of authors, both aspiring and established, putting content onto it. And I'd like to tell you a little bit more about them all. So what we're trying to do here, folks, is make writing social. And to us, that's 3 things. First one is the discovery and creation. That is the iOS app. We're looking to expand upon that with an HTML5 stroke Android to increase our service addressable market. But also, there's to us, there's an element of collaboration. That's a platform API, and I'll tell you a bit about that, and an element of game mechanics. Now, to those of you that are technical, what we're doing here is we're trying to do to writers what GitHub did to programmers. And the implications are huge. Now, if you don't understand that, I'll take you through it. We actually realized something very early on. When we had the iOS app, we started getting contacted by a lot of literary agents. And we also found a lot of people that were going on and saying, I found this great, this great poem or this great little short story, but there's a comma out of place. And they were getting very emotional about the content. And there's a long-tailed class of people on the internet known as grammar Nazis. They go in and they forget about the content, but they just want to correct stuff. And we thought we could actually leverage this. And when we started looking at what our authors were doing, they were using our platform as a means of engagement, but also as a way to interact with the community. They were trying to get in touch with editors, copy editors, artists, and the like through an ecosystem, and that was failing miserably. So they were then going and doing self-publishing. Problem was, they lost those benefits completely. Our platform is in a rather awkward stage right now because people are coming in, and I've now got writers, I've got aspiring writers, I've got literary agents approaching us saying, how do we use this to better engage these people? And then we've got editors that just want to go and edit content. So our platform is sitting in the middle, and we're formalizing our business model here. The idea initially was to actually put a platform behind it, which is to actually allow people to meet each other, to discover, to create, to play with words, but also to collaborate. To those of you that are familiar with Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, that was a lovely book. It was actually created here. It took public domain content and it was remixed. And we could facilitate that in minutes using our app. I just want to tell you a little bit about our competition. There are a few that are probably worth mentioning. So the first one right now is Wattpad. They're a very large creative writing community. We know them very well. The main thing they're doing though is they're focusing on writing stories on the desktop and reading in the mobile. There's Tumblr, which is a microblogging service, purely internet-based. And then there's Amazon CreateSpace, which is self-publishing. Now, there are a number of other players, but what do they have in common? Well, first of all, it's all about people putting fully formed content, not serialization, not snacky little bits of literature. They are focused on creating on desktop, but reading on the mobile, so to speak, dumb consumption devices. There is absolutely no collaboration. And the concept of feedback is very interesting. So people are going in and saying, yo, I read your poem, I looked at your haiku, and it sucked. But your feedback is coming in on Facebook, right? There is no, on the second chapter, third word, this is what we like, this is what we didn't. So ironically for us, we found GitHub was actually the closest to this thing, but it had nothing to do with writers. So beyond all of that, what I've just told you is like a 9, 12, 15-month plan. What are we going to do right now? We're growing the app. That is our complete focus. And we've actually become a noun. Quick word, the app is spelled O-P-U-S-S. It used to be O-P-U-S. To those of you that know Latin, opus means great composition. We couldn't get the domain, and so I didn't want to be accused of focusing on stationery and brand. Added an S, and said, get on with it. Well, as it turned out, our developer, or designer, Chris, at the time thought, Opuss, oh pussy, oh cat, and he went to cat. Every word about this is a cat. And it was luck. Twitter is a bird, short form content, you're lucky if you can get a haiku, or longer form content. You can get some more information in there. But it's becoming now. People are writing poems to the cat. They call themselves Opussians. We have a virtual planet called Opussia. They are competing with written jousts. This week's competition is household. The key word to put in poems is knife. Last week it was teabag. We somehow struck an emotional chord, and this is just humbling. The group on the app is amazing. We have a very simple revenue model here, which is we want people to create words, which they're doing, compete with words, establish rank, because we have an element of game mechanics built in. One of the things it's worthwhile mentioning about game mechanics, grammar Nazis, it's a well-known meme, but it's not necessarily appropriate. But, you know, grammar barons, grammar dukes, grammar knights, the grand poobah, all that is holy in the English language. These are badges and titles that you can offer and people get excited about it. And it's a classic long tail effect. You know, a 9th grade grammar teacher can get very excited about what you're doing. So the revenue model, again, is based on something called GitHub, which is if you're just doing public collaborations, it's free. If you're an individual, you want to stay in a cave with a Starbucks latte or whiskey, go ahead, we'll give you your tools anyway. But if you actually want to work on a private group because you met some people that were really good at editing and you want to put them together to build something, that's where we can charge a subscription. Now, it's worthwhile mentioning just one little part about that. There's a precedent from Hollywood. A-list celebrities are coming out and saying, you know what? I like the script. It speaks to me. But they're not coming out and saying they don't want a full-blown salary. I don't want a $40 million salary. I tell you what. And please get example of Julia Roberts said this. I'd like 1% of the gross receipts. Take the publisher out completely. Get rid of them. If we actually put together a 9th grade school teacher who's really good at editing, we put together someone creating content, and we actually facilitate that model, we can take them directly to market for a cut of revenue. So that's actually the last part. And then in between there is actually sponsored competitions, because people love having fun. They're writing poems and everything else. Anyway, it's a very large market, and we actually tried to build a product in HTML5. That was to do with Sencha. We did have a little bit of difficulty doing that, although we learned a hell of a lot, gained a big appreciation for Trigger.io. But again, very much compliments to Matt and Will. They made a really good stab at it to pull data and feeds out of our API. But I just did want to tell you a little bit about what we were doing. We do like the idea of using Pusher for chat functionality, and FilePicker.io so they can actually compose some of their manuscripts offline. Just before I go though, if you can see this, I'm not sure, I'll tell you. Okay, great. So what's starting to happen on our app right now, beyond the fact that we've got long form content, is we've also got a new genre that's developing called shape poetry. Because we're called Instagram for Words, and this happened 19 hours ago because I did a search on it, but people are writing their opuses, which are like tweets, but they're writing all sorts of different things, whether it's themes on snakes or anything else, but it's just really beautiful to see what these genres that are erupting right now. So if you'd like to learn more, let me know. But again, our major reason for coming here, and what we're going to continue doing after this, is to build this into an HTML5 app. We do want to leverage the Facebook social graph, because right now we want to get some quantitative data and some quantitative feedback. But we're really excited.
So this is what you guys just built this weekend?
No, this is an iOS app. We were trying to build an HTML5 version of it.
Okay.
So what we've done is we built the app, and we built a platform API, and we did that over 6 months. But then the idea was to come here and say, fine, if we have an HTML app, what do we need to do to pull this thing up? We have everything in an API, so we can actually suck the data out in terms of an API data feed. But then what elements within HTML, what framework should we use? And so this is where Will and Matt were able to come down, sit down and say, okay, I've got Sencha, I've got Pusher, I've got this. And it's usually a big drawing board and canvas. So it was an opportunity, if nothing else, to sit down, to learn a language, learn what the restrictions are, and how you could push forward. We think right now, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished on iOS, I think having this encapsulated within a Facebook application is going to be an order of magnitude larger than this can ever be.
Did you have anything to share in HTML?
Sorry?
Do you have anything to share in HTML?
Do we? They were having a bit of trouble, and they were very reluctant to show it. And I respect them.
Could you share a little bit more about what issues you hit building HTML5? And
So yeah, we started out with Sencha, and actually,
Explain, yeah.
they're shy.
No, it's fine. It's just, yeah, I think we may be a bit too focused on the frameworks, right? In retrospect, we could have probably just battling out in pure HTML and JavaScript. Because learning the framework for docs is quite new. It wasn't that mature, so it's frustrating. Also, I think the way we approach this, with at least from this is my first hackathon, I approached it a bit like I would a commercial project. And I was thinking, to actually deliver this for real, we need all of this. Which is the wrong way of looking at it, because you're not delivering it, you're just trying to show a prototype. So maybe try to do too much to make it actually a packageable piece of software.
I should actually tell you what they did accomplish, although they're able to show it. We hard-coded the API key, username, and password into a JavaScript bit within a basic HTML5 canvas, and we were able to actually pull that and show that in. But then you actually need to actually find an SVG background with a graded HTML basic color and to put that information on. But this is something that I'm told you like.
I would say it, but it actually genuinely stopped working in about half an hour.
So.
And what did you think of the share API?
Yeah, it was fairly easy to use. There was one problem where it's a bit Apple specific and you could pass across it. And Apple push notification.
Yeah.
But
As it's not like purely RESTful.
yeah, it's basically it's a RESTful service, yeah, and you can just communicate in JSON. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get data to as well. It's just actually using Sencha, which is a big learning factor.
In terms of promoting this app, or are you using some social media, or how would you reach outside the app?
Absolutely, the app is actually fully built in. When you actually sign up, you have the option of going into Twitter, into Facebook. There's a baked in directly. When you actually can compose an Opuss, you can actually share the Opuss via email, via Twitter, via Facebook. It remembers your credentials. So once you've done it once, you can then share it repeatedly. So we have built that functionality. We're proud of it. But part of the learning curve came in from we actually made the social sharing optional. And when you're doing it within an iPhone app, it might be better to actually have login with Twitter, login with Facebook straight away. And that you might have a bit of controversy in that regard, saying I didn't want to share it in the first place, but then have it opt out after the fact. The beauty of using a Facebook app, though, is that if you start a Facebook app, by definition you're social. I don't have to ask the question. You just sign it up, it's coming up. So there's an order of magnitude more virality present in having a Facebook and HTML5 app that can be a caption or an app. And that's part of the learning experience. We're really glad we got around to Apple, mainly because there's quite a large creative demographic and people love the words, and we were blown away at what happened. Because to a certain extent, it started out as an engineering concept. We couldn't afford to afford the hosting costs for the servers. And people got great words. So
who actually uses it?
We actually have some very interesting demographics. It's surprisingly a lot of kids are liking it. Officially, we're actually putting the age above 13. But what's been a bit strange is that a lot of people are mothers, and they're going in and they're saying, okay, I'm going to write a 50 Shades of Mommy porn type thing. So they'll go in and they'll put a disclaimer and a warning on the app, 1 or 2 pages. And then they'll have to start their text. And despite this, we're still getting parents writing into us saying, we've read your privacy policy, we've read your terms, but my daughter and my son just love this, I want them to use it anyway. Can I do it with parental consent? Yeah, whatever folks are doing. So the idea there is that to be able to have some kind of tagging where someone could actually tag it parental content, add parental controls. But normally people just see stuff and they run away from it. There's a certain level of engagement and interest in different areas. So we have that, I'd say we've seen as young as about 10 to 16. 16 to 24, not that much. 24 plus, up to about 35, is quite a mix. And then over 50, huge amounts. And it's great because you actually see younger kids interacting with some grannies and back and forth, some worldly stories. There's a gentleman called Born 49, that wrote about the first one we ever met and how we fell in love. And you were just reading this and you were enchanted. You were going through the whole thing. And so we've got short form content, long form content. We do have, I would say, about 20% of the people that treat it like Twitter and don't quite understand it. But 80% it's almost self-policing. And so they can write an Opuss and they get comments back and forth saying, great, I love it. How should I evolve the plot? What should I do? Do you like the protagonist? Is he a prick? Whatever. And it's just really great to see.
Okay, guys, thank you very much.